When a relationship ends, the challenges are often just beginning, especially when children are involved. Today we're diving into a sensitive but crucial topic: smear campaigns within parental alienation. This isn't just about arguments between ex-partners. It is a form of emotional manipulation that can have devastating effects on a child's well-being and their relationship with a loving parent. If you've ever felt like your child is being turned against you, or if you're a professional trying to understand these complex family dynamics, this video is for you. We'll explore what a smear campaign is, how it works, its impact on children, and most importantly, what you can do about it. So, what exactly is a smear campaign in the context of a family breakup? It's a deliberate and often systematic effort by one parent to damage the other parent's reputation in the eyes of their child. The goal is to make the child distrust, fear, or even hate the targeted parent. It's not just occasional bad-mouthing. It's a calculated strategy to control the child's loyalty and perception, effectively erasing a good parent from their child's life, emotionally, if not physically. The alienating parent positions themselves as the only safe and loving option, painting the other parent as dangerous, uncaring, or unfit. This isn't about protecting the child. It's about winning a war that the child is unknowingly fighting on the front lines. How does this alienation actually take place? It operates through a variety of subtle and not so subtle tactics. It often starts with negative talk. This could be constant criticism, name-calling, or blaming the other parent for everything that's wrong. For example, "We can't afford that vacation because your father doesn't give us enough money," or "Your mother is too selfish to care about what you want." Over time, these little drops of poison fill a bucket of resentment. Then there's the manipulation of situations. An alienating parent might set up the other parent to fail. They might forget to pass on messages about school events, schedule conflicting appointments, or interpret a simple mistake as a sign of neglect. Imagine a parent who is late for pickup due to unexpected traffic. The alienating parent might tell the child, "See, your dad doesn't care enough to be on time for you." They create a narrative and then twist reality to fit it. Finally, there's conditional affection. The child quickly learns that they are rewarded with love and approval when they reject the targeted parent and punished with emotional withdrawal when they show affection or loyalty to them. This puts the child in an impossible position, forcing them to choose a side to maintain a sense of stability and love from at least one parent. It erodes the natural parent-child bond and replaces it with one built on fear and coercion. Let's get more specific about the tactics used in these campaigns. One of the most common is misinformation. This involves spreading outright lies or half-truths. A parent might falsely claim the other has a new partner they're prioritizing, is misusing money, or has a history of behavior that makes them unsafe. These lies are often tailored to exploit a child's specific fears. Another powerful tactic is constructing a villain narrative. The alienating parent becomes a master storyteller, weaving a tale where they are the perpetual victim and the other parent is the villain. Every past mistake, every argument, every flaw of the targeted parent is exaggerated and brought up repeatedly. The narrative is simple and compelling. "I am good, your other parent is bad, and you are only safe with me." This constant repetition makes the narrative feel like truth to a child who lacks the life experience to question it. Alienating parents are also skilled at involving third parties. They might recruit friends, family members, teachers, or even therapists to their cause, feeding them the same false narrative. When a child hears the same negative stories from multiple adults, it validates the alienator's claims and makes it even harder for the child to trust their own positive experiences with the targeted parent. Emotional manipulation is at the core of it all. The alienating parent might play the victim, crying and telling the child how much the other parent has hurt them, making the child feel responsible for their parent's happiness. They might use guilt, saying things like, "After everything I've done for you, you're still going to see your mother. This emotional blackmail forces the child to align with the alienator to alleviate their own discomfort and the parent is supposed pain. Finally, there's the tactic of exaggerating flaws. Nobody is a perfect parent, we all make mistakes. But in a smear campaign, normal human errors are magnified into catastrophic failings. A parent who occasionally works late is framed as never being there. A parent who enforces a rule is mean and controlling. These exaggerations paint a distorted picture, making it impossible for the targeted parent to be seen as a normal, loving, imperfect human being. The consequences for children caught in the middle are heartbreaking and profound. First and foremost, they experience intense emotional distress. The constant pressure to choose sides creates deep anxiety, confusion, and a pervasive sense of guilt. They feel torn, loving both parents, but being told they can only be loyal to one. This internal conflict is a heavy burden for a young mind to carry. This experience also leads to a loss of trust. When a child is manipulated into believing a loving parent is bad, it shatters their ability to trust their own judgment and perceptions. They learn that relationships are conditional and that people they love can be deceptive. This can have long-lasting effects, making it difficult for them to form healthy, trusting relationships later in life. Identity struggles are also common. A child is 50% of each parent. When they are taught to hate one half of their origin, they are essentially taught to hate a part of themselves. This can lead to low self-esteem, self-doubt, and a confused sense of who they are. They may struggle with feelings of unworthiness and a deep-seated belief that they are somehow flawed. Behavioral issues frequently emerge as a result of this emotional turmoil. We often see aggression, withdrawal, anxiety, and depression in alienated children. Their school performance may decline, and their social relationships may suffer. These are not just kids being difficult. These are symptoms of deep emotional pain and trauma. They are cries for help from a child who is trapped in an adult conflict. So how can you tell if a smear campaign is happening? There are several warning signs to look for. One of the most obvious is a sudden, dramatic change in your child's behavior toward you. A child who was once affectionate and close may suddenly become hostile, disrespectful, or fearful for no apparent reason. They might refuse to see you or talk to you. Listen to the language they use. Do their accusations sound rehearsed or disproportionate? Do they use adult phrases or concepts that seem beyond their years? For example, a young child saying, "You are a narcissist," or "You abandoned our family financially," is likely repeating words they've heard from the other parent. Pay attention to patterns of isolation. Does the other parent consistently try to block your communication or time with the child? Are activities with you or your side of the family discouraged or sabotaged? This isolation is a key strategy to control the flow of information and prevent the child from having positive experiences that contradict the negative narrative. The stories they tell might also seem off. If your child's account of an event is wildly different from what actually happened, or if they bring up grievances from years ago that they couldn't possibly remember on their own, it's a red flag that their memories are being manipulated. If you are the parent being targeted, your natural reaction might be anger or defensiveness, but how you respond is critical. The most important thing is to try and stay composed. Reacting with anger or trying to fight back with your own negative campaign often backfires. It can validate the alienator's claims that you are unstable or aggressive, and it puts the child in an even more difficult position. Instead, focus on documenting everything. Keep a detailed, factual log of interactions, missed visitations concerning statements your child makes, and any harassing communications from the other parent. Note the date, time, and what happened. This record is not for arguing with the other parent. It's a crucial tool for therapists and legal professionals. Communicate openly and age appropriately with your child, but without bad-mouthing the other parent. You can gently counter the misinformation without attacking the source. For example, if your child says, "Mommy said you don't love me because you missed my game," you could respond with, "I'm so sorry I missed your game. I love you very much, and I was stuck in a work meeting I couldn't leave. I was so sad to miss it, and I can't wait to hear all about it." You are validating their feeling, correcting the lie, and expressing your love, all without blaming the other parent directly. Most importantly, seek professional guidance. A therapist who specializes in parental alienation can provide you with strategies for coping and communicating with your child. A knowledgeable family law attorney can advise you on your legal options, which may be necessary if the interference becomes severe. You do not have to go through this alone. And that brings us to the importance of support. Being the target of a smear campaign is an incredibly lonely and painful experience. It can make you question yourself and feel utterly helpless. Isolation is the alienator's ally. Reaching out to trusted friends, family, or a support group is not a sign of weakness. It's a vital act of self-preservation. These support systems can offer perspective when your own is clouded by stress and grief. They can provide emotional stability on days when you feel like giving up. They can brainstorm strategies and remind you that you are a good and loving parent, even when your child is being prevented from seeing it. A strong support network is your anchor in this storm. To wrap this up, smear campaigns within parental alienation are a destructive and deeply damaging form of abuse. They don't just sever the bond between a parent and child, they fundamentally alter a child's emotional development, leaving scars that can last a lifetime. But understanding these dynamics is the first step toward fighting back. By recognizing the tactics, identifying the signs in your child, and responding with intention, compassion, and professional support, there is hope. Hope for healing, hope for reconnection, and hope for restoring the healthy, loving relationships that every child deserves. Thank you for watching. If this video resonated with you, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing for more content on navigating complex family dynamics. Remember, you are not alone, and help is available.